Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you on this awareness campaign. So, today we have with us Shivaji, who's a vitiligo skin warrior, and he's here with us to share his journey and his struggle and his inspiring, journey or the path that he's been through. So, over to you, Shivaji. Please go ahead and share your journey with us, so that we can, take a thing or two as a learning aspiration from you.
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Shivaji Choudhary. Um, I got vitiligo when I was 9 years old.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't even hit puberty then. So it's an age where you yourself are figuring out a lot of things about yourself, about friends, about the environment, society.
Mhm.
So while I had all these questions about everything in this world, and then suddenly I had a question when I looked in the mirror, like, what is this? What are
Mhm.
these new patches onto me? And that literally changed a lot of things, mindset, the environment around me, and how I see myself.
Mhm.
Because whenever I looked at myself, I could see something which is not normal, or which I didn't see on anyone else but
It's
just
not
me.
common. Yeah.
Right. So when that happened, you kind of, you get into a negative zone where you ask, but the problem is, whom do you ask? That why did it happen to me, and why me only?
Yeah.
So the whole chapter about why me goes on forever for a lot of people, and for a long time that happened with me as well.
Mhm.
And friends make fun of you. People stare at you all the time, and they don't have a obviously they don't look at you in a positive way, and you have those eyes of disgust. It could be their inquisitiveness. It could be various things, but
Yeah.
when you're continuously stared upon. Traveling, I love traveling. I play sports, so I'm like, I'm in shorts, or I'm a swimmer, so I'm like, I'm at the beach or at the pool. So people look at you traveling in a train, flight, or bus, whatever. So you'll
Mhm.
see all kind of, people in the society. And after some time, I got used to it, about, all the stares and all the teasing and people asking me. You randomly meet people and they'll come up to you, what is this? Or I know somebody who has this and went through this treatment and that treatment. So you get used to it. You definitely become awkward. Uh, but yeah, it takes a lot of time to figure out, because it's a mental game, and that too in your own head, nowhere else. So it's a delusion in your own head about how society works and everything. And that literally, vitiligo helped me to crack open the society and
No. Yeah.
nonsense, I would say. So the whole mockery about how people judge us and how they see us and all of that, I mean, that kind of just shattered everything, whatever the delusions we have in this
Mhm.
society about beauty standards and whatnot, appearances. So with this, I also understood a lot about medicines and how my body works. And because since I was just 9, I've been taking medicines and went through a lot of therapies, because you constantly are in a hope.
Mhm. Yeah.
The hope that you will get better, this will get better. You're right. uh, so when you go through this, so patience, man. I mean, it takes a lot of patience. I mean, when I went to my different, like, Ayurveda, allopathy, homeopathy, where different doctors say isme time lagta hai, that it takes a
Yeah.
lot of time to get this thing done and all of that. And so when you have that, so suddenly, I mean, right now what you see is not much, I would say. When I was a kid, I had a lot more vitiligo on me,
Mhm.
the patches. So it has never been constant. Sometimes it grew, sometimes it went off, and sometimes I got bored of taking medicines, because it's
Mhm.
really hectic. Like, all the time you're taking medicine, so that's also something very tedious, I would say. Constantly in your head, you have these rules to be followed, that after dinner you have to take this, you have to put that ointment. So it takes a lot in your body, like, out of 24 hours. Now just imagine so many times you're just thinking about taking medicines, so that can go on a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stress involved. And the funny part about vitiligo, and not just vitiligo, but with a lot of um, I would say
Skin conditions.
diseases, problems, and disorders, and whatnot you want to
Mhm.
call it,
Mhm.
is that stress causes all these things,
Yes.
and when you get all of these things, you get stress.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so
ironic.
it's that cycle, right? So it's that cycle. So, like I said, it's a mental game, and it's you have to figure it out, and it takes a lot of time. I would say it's not that easy
Mm.
to come out of it, come out of a zone where you, like I said, then, why me? Why it happened to me, and why not others? And of course, then you see people telling you a lot of negative stuff, right? I mean, apart from teasing and all of that, then comes in the societal side of, like, people will talk about job rejections.
Yeah.
Probably you don't even have those. I mean, uh, you're not in that criteria of their, a different looking person or whatever. Like, just imagine somebody who's a cabin crew. Probably, I don't know. I'm not just
Mhm.
talking
Mhm.
about it. I'm
Okay.
not industry shaming right now, but I'm just saying, like, they have these criterias. Would somebody take or not? You never know, right? So somebody is passionate about a particular thing. They probably can't do it purely based on how you look,
Yeah.
right? The other part to vitiligo, I also would say, is that you as a human being cannot control it.
Yes.
It didn't happen because of me,
Yeah.
right? So it didn't happen because of me. I didn't do anything that I have to get this.
True.
So we need to understand that side of it as well. That we are, because what happens is that we become very hard on ourselves,
We do.
right? Because of that, so that mindset comes to us that way, because we are so used to being so negative and people looking at you in a negative manner. So your entire energy becomes negative. And when that happens, you become insecure, you become vulnerable to a lot of things.
Mm.
So what happens is that, when you're trying to get out of it, you will go back to those same thoughts, but it's not that easy, like I said. So
Yeah.
you have to change things in your own style, in your own way. Like, dude, either you become happy or you don't. So
Yes.
when you're not happy, then you have to figure it out, like, why am I not happy, and things like that.
You
You have
always
to
have a
talk to
choice.
yourself. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you all absolutely. I mean, I'm one of those people who always say, like, if you're happy, it's because of you. If you're sad, it's because of you.
True.
So I don't blame anyone. So, like I said, I mean, society keeps looking at you, like I said, about rejections, about so many people send me DMs about, how I run a page called Vitiligo India as well. I do a lot of
Hmm.
awareness campaigns on Vitiligo India on Instagram.
Hmm.
So a lot of people would they would vent out, they would vent out about, how somebody's marriage broke up, somebody got rejected in a what do you say, marriage scenes or whatever,
Hmm.
they're looking for somebody, and but their brother has vitiligo, so they might get it later, and this gets passed on, it's heredity and whatnot. So when you listen to all of these things, so then you again, I mean, my answer to them is like, dude, like, I'm so glad that it broke up or it didn't work out, for a simple reason that the kind of person you are about to be with you already know that they are so shallow, right? So
True.
if that was the only criteria they had in their mind, I mean, right now you're unhappy, but I'm happy for you. You might see it in a different way later. So, all these things happen, and um, like I said, I can't control it. So I need to loosen up a little bit on myself. That's very important. Like, because we are so hard on ourselves, like, yeah, blah blah blah, always cussing yourself and stuff like that. So you come out of it. So, and when you do come out of it, then you will have other hurdles to face. So when you already know there are so many other things to battle out, or get involved with, why get involved into such things at your own end? Because you're stuck on appearance, appearance, and appearance only.
That's very
So, right. So there's no denying, of course. Yeah, you look at a person, that's how you get attracted or things like that. Once you get to know somebody, that takes time. Agreed. Your first step is appearance. Agreed. But things can change, things can work out in a good way. So I always say, like, people shouldn't think like that. But of course, it's not that easy. I mean, in the end, the way social media is going on, it is at the topmost level of appearance. You don't know, appeal and appearances. It has reached at the topmost level now, and that too in a negative way. I would say too much of competition for no reason, and so there's unnecessary stress everywhere. So we got to be a little calm.
I think we create that for ourselves. And when we don't feel
That's what I said.
trust
Yeah,
and confident in our own self and in our own heart, then we start seeing those insecurities in other people. So
sure,
the moment you see someone rejecting you or not accepting the way you are, it's more of like you have not done that to yourself. And
sure,
once you do that to yourself, those people wouldn't matter to you, or those situations or the society wouldn't matter to you, because
sure.
deep down, you know, you deserve more than that. And anything that you come across, be it your face or appearance or any social issues that you go through in your life, that's not going to define you. That's not going to hold you back from, getting anything or wanting anything that you want from your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what role your family had, in this journey of yours? Because I believe that yes, there are, fights that we fight alone, but the people who are very much connected with us, especially our family, plays a very important role in those, moments of difficulties in life.
Right. I mean, that's where I was going next.
Mhm.
Parents, man. Parents, they literally shape you. Like, from your childhood, that's your environment, that's your society, those are your mentors, those are your gods, those are everything growing up.
Agree.
And the reason I'm saying this is because they literally nurture you, they shape you in a certain way, right? At least during the childhood. They learn from you. Probably they learn everything, and they also learn things you don't want them to learn, but they still do from you, right? So family is very important, and I'm blessed that my family has been supportive all throughout. My mother, hats off to my mom.
Hmm.
She took me to every nook and corner of this country. Probably I've been to South India, I've gone to Babas, I've gone to Hakims, I've gone to small villages, some kind of treatment and whatnot. My mom took me to everywhere, like to the fanciest doctors of the country, to like I said, hope. Right. So
Yeah.
my mother was that is that person who did so much for me. While I used to fight with her because I had to go on Sundays because I had to go out of town, catch a train, and Sundays as a young kid, I want to play and I would play my sports or whatever. So yeah, so she took me. Hats off to that woman. And for everyone else, I would say the same thing. What happens is their parents don't support them, and I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen people venting that their parents are extremely bullish, so negative on them that they are a curse, living in the family, and because they themselves are frustrated, they themselves don't know how to be a good parent
Exactly.
because they were never taught as well, right? So I mean that goes off topic, but I'm just saying.
Mhm.
So when they themselves didn't know, how would they create a better environment? And if they did, I mean, if they're still, if the child could be smiling and sitting next to them, and they would be proud that my son or daughter is happy. They're not, right? It happens with most of us. Like, we are close to our parents, but they don't know us the way we want them to know,
Yeah.
right? So my family, my grandmother, my uncle, aunt, chachi, everyone, man. I mean, my family has been so supportive with this. I had that confidence because my family gave me that,
Mhm.
and also I learned through life that that's the way I want to be, and that's how I always was actually. So a few things didn't make me go, you know, I wouldn't say I was nervous about things. Like I just understood through eyes of people at times. Right? These are mind games, right? Like how
Mhm.
the other person is going to see you when
Yeah.
you're introducing yourself to a whatever, when you get into a room. Somebody who doesn't remember my name, somebody who like, dude, that guy who has white patches, who has vitiligo, right? So you have those identification thing. But my family, helped me a lot. And the other part about close people, right? I mean, it could be your best friends, it could be your better half, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or whatever. I mean, I've been blessed to have really supportive people, and actually, I won't even say supportive because it doesn't even come out that way.
Mm.
It's just natural, and I'm very strong-headed about how I live. So anything or anyone who's associated with me, we don't talk about vitiligo. That never came. So I wouldn't say that they've been supportive. I would just say we're just living,
Yes. And
right?
that's important, I
It
believe.
exists exactly, right? I mean, and I want to, yeah. So I also wanted to tell you about the parent side is that what they should not do. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about that. Is that what happens is it happened with me also when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Some distant relative or some family friend or some bloody neighbor, I don't know, I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
somebody will come and will speak about, let's assume that it's me. Somebody will, oh, vitiligo happened and this happened. Acha, fir kya hoga? So they themselves create that fear.
Yes, yes.
I'm a 10-year-old boy. These three aunties or whatever, right? So these people are sitting and talking, with that look. How would that make a boy or a girl feel at
Mm.
that age?
Mm.
So you yourself as parents are like, and you're talking to somebody, you're like, yaar, isko to aise ho gaya, and so this goes all negative.
It does.
That you're the victim. So you have by not, I mean, you care for your child, yes, you love your child, yes, but what you're speaking
Impacts.
in front of them or wherever, I mean, dude, when you're saying that your isko to aise ho gaya and that happened and this happened and yahan gaye the, so you have that look of being worried. So when you
Mm.
have that worried look all the time going on, then you're literally just showing that you're a victim of something.
Yeah.
You literally are showing that.
Yeah.
That's one point I always talk about is that, dude, the parents need to learn to not do that,
Definitely.
right? Just be casual about it. Be, "Nah, okay, keep
Mm.
moving, man, go do your thing. What's
Do you,
stopping you?"
do you think, Shivaji, because I think that awareness plays a very important role. Now,
Yeah.
just as a simple example, I would take that dancing. Right now, India has gone, at the world
Did
stage.
you say dancing?
Yes, yes, I did.
Yeah, all right.
So, as an Indian mentality, we are always expected to either pursue engineering or doctor degree
Mm-hmm.
past like almost
Mm-hmm.
10 or 15 years ago. And if somebody walks up to their parents and tell them something which is not, a standard profession like dancing or writing or anything as such, when you start talking about them, maybe they'll, put you down or say that, no, you cannot earn your bread and butter with that. So I think now that we have a lot of reality shows and when you see Indian people going up to the world stage and presenting the
Yeah, yeah,
country, right, that actually
yeah,
there are a lot of parents or there are a lot of old age people watching those things, but now they are
yeah,
aware about it. That's kind can be a profession too. So I think now that
yeah,
somebody walks up to them and tell them that I want to learn dancing or I want to become a dancer, I think they would appreciate that and they would support them. So even in
yeah.
this thing like this skin condition that we are talking about right now, would you think that the journey that you have went through or whatever complication that you went through, if there was a proper awareness about this, that those few things could have been avoided?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. See, that goes without saying that I would say, we as a society in general don't know how to live properly,
Yeah.
how to communicate properly.
I don't.
Our own families are dysfunctional families. As much as we are proud as the head of the family, there's the most proud about, like, yeah, that's my family and I take care, I'm the breadwinner, whatever, all that nonsense. Dude, that's a dysfunctional system, and we all are a part of it. And
Yes.
we have been and we have been living like this. And firstly, the thing is that we don't even realize that it's a dysfunctional system, right? So I say a lot about parenting,
Mhm.
because that is why when I started the parenting class, they're your gods, they're your mentors, they're your environment, they're your society, because you learn so many things from them. So what you teach them is exactly how they will think,
True.
right? So So yeah, I mean, awareness. See, the other part about, like, as we're talking about vitiligo right now, what
Mm.
happens is I've heard discussions, or I got a few feedback about things. Like, dude, why are you making such a big fuss about vitiligo? It's not even life threatening.
Mhm.
We have bigger issues, or we are. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what the other person is actually going through.
Yeah.
The person is damn suicidal. Those people don't go out for social gatherings because they feel,
Yes.
they feel suppressed anyway. They look at themselves, and they become sad. So you're talking about it's not life threatening. It is life threatening.
It is.
It is actually, when you're living with such thoughts, it's even worse than anything else, where you actually don't feel like living.
Yeah, you die
I went
every
through that.
day, and that's like
Right. I went through that. I was, as a kid, I thought I should finish this off. I was depressed. I would still say that that's what I'm saying, that it's a long process and only you can come out of it.
yes.
And until unless you don't see or realize that there is a better side to life, you will not come out of it. So that is why what I do in my Vitiligo India, and I made a video about this on Vitiligo on YouTube also. I was sharing my real life examples. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a philosopher, or some online coach, or all of that. But I'm not a professional.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, what I speak is coming from my heart because I went through it.
Yes.
So all of this is part of my journey, and that's why I speak a lot about confidence, because people, I get messages like, I went through till the third round in my interview for a job interview, but in the fourth, when it came to personal one-on-one interview, I got rejected, and probably it was because of vitiligo. Right. So it
Yeah.
could be.
Could be.
I'm not taking that chapter out of that. I totally get it. That's a big possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it could be like you were actually not good. You never know. So how
Exactly.
about you prepare yourself the next time that you already know that you have vitiligo, and now when you sit on that chair, you become a 200 person, not just a 100 game. So
Yes.
figure it out. I mean, like you said, like, there's always another way. So yeah,
Yes, that's so true. So, Shivaji, as you said, that there are a lot of people who are struggling with, not just skin conditions, but there are different social issues, which we don't talk about more often, because maybe
yeah,
a part of our mind says that, this is something that should not be touched or should not be spoken about in public. So there are people who are struggling with this, and I really, appreciate parents who support their children, but there are a lot of people who don't have that privilege. So what is
sure,
that message, through your experience, what is that one thing, or something that you want to tell them, that somebody who's struggling through it and doesn't have any kind of support, so how do they
sure,
overcome that part of their life?
sure. I'll give that uh, answer with an example which I faced.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a train once.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to Mumbai,
Mm-hmm.
and there were a bunch of 12, 15 deaf and dumb children
Mm-hmm.
in the train. And there was another person who's uh, just another normal human being who could hear and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we both were just observing all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't talk, they couldn't, hear. So they
Mm-hmm.
were talking in their sign language. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact term. Um, they were all smiling and laughing most of the time, and they were asking me. So they had a person who could understand the language,
Mm-hmm.
and they could translate. So so the guy sitting in front of me wanted to ask me if I had a girlfriend. Right. So that cracked me up as well. But the fun part is, these guys were so happy. So I this guy sitting next to me, I said, I told him, like, in Hindi, कि यार ये भी एक जिंदगी है.
Exactly.
And while we are the ones not smiling and looking at them, and we are still stressed in life.
Yeah.
By that, I want to say we got to be thankful for what we have.
Exactly.
That's number one. So as people don't have support system or exposure and whatnot, dude, you have ears, you have eyes, you have
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
People don't have that. So do not think that you are the only one or you're the victim. I mean, victim mindset, you need to come out of that victim mindset.
Exactly.
That's a terrible state to be in. All right, you went through it, get over it, move on. So still the time you continue to talk about that particular part again and again, that's where you will be stuck. So you got to be thankful for what you have. Like people don't have parents, people don't have eyes. You're talking about skin color. People don't have eyes to identify there as a skin or skin color. So
And
you
there
got
are
to be thankful,
people
man.
who, I mean, there are children who are stillborn, so they don't even get to see a daylight, and
Yeah,
we are so
exactly.
fortunate, right?
Right. And we take all of this for granted.
Granted, exactly.
Right. So that's where it goes. And just imagine that's why you'll see so many people, or probably in old age, and people just leave, they retire and everything, and they just chill, and people call it like sannyas le liya, retirement, and they become, they do these pilgrimages, they become a monk or whatnot. They try all these new things. Why? After earning all the money and this and that, right? So after
Exactly.
fighting society, I wouldn't say living in a society, I would say
Yeah.
fighting
Right.
society for all these years, and then that's when you realize by the end of your
It's not
life,
worth
you're
it.
like, dude, hey, dude, no,
It's not.
I did it wrong, right? So
Yeah.
my chacha used to tell me this, Shiva, figure out something which you probably can do sitting in a room alone
Hmm.
for your entire life. Otherwise, the rest of the things will just be things you'll be chasing. So
That's so true.
that's so I what I try to do is I chase these kind of things, and of course we have a lot of discussions with my friends.
Hmm.
And when this happens, they're still with us. Like, got to get a car, got to get a house, got to do this, and got to get married. And so the same rut which has been going on, and I'm saying like, dude, let's go backpacking, let's go to the beach, let's go to a village, and so I'm more about experiences. I mean, the more we experience, the more we learn.
That's so true. And I believe in that as well because
Yeah,
I love solo traveling, and that actually
yeah,
liberates me in a way
hmm,
when I realize that I have to figure out everything on my own. And
yeah,
the first time when I started off traveling, that was a little scary. I
hmm,
wouldn't say scary, but it was more of something that I was starting for the first time. So I just had this thought in my mind. Maybe at the point where I feel stuck or I feel that it is not safe enough to travel, I'm gonna take a
yeah.
U-turn and come back to my place. But until then, I'm
Got
gonna
it.
keep moving ahead.
Sure.
So yes, so that was a lovely experience, and I've been experiencing that so far. And as you
That's
said,
nice.
traveling like really, gives you a lot of learning, as well as you see
Yeah,
a lot of things which is, which you cannot find in that confined space of yours. There are a lot of
sure,
different kind of people, culture, and thought process, I would say, that you come across, and you learn a lot about life, that this is not how you should live, 9 to 6 job and then just waiting for your weekend to hang out with your friends.
yeah,
That's not life. And
true,
that's the reason, Shivaji, that I took up this initiative, because I thought I was part of a writer community. I used to, lead the writers and listen to their poetry, give feedback and stuff. I thought maybe, somebody else can do it. But when I took
hmm,
up the social issue, I think I realized that I can use this as a platform to just add a little bit of effort from my end, because there are a lot of people who are already doing it, and
sure,
just this little voice from my end can make that echo a little bit louder. And
right,
I hope that anybody, even if they are going through a very rough patch in their life, can watch this video or whatever interview that we are conducting. And people like you who are sharing their life stories with us, they can learn something from it. I cannot just, narrate a story about you and anticipate people to get motivated. I
sure,
want you to come and share your story, because I don't belong to that community, or I don't have any skin condition, so I cannot just happily say that it's okay to have that, or you can live a better life. People are not going to believe me, because they are going to
hmm,
question me, like, you don't have it, how can you say that it's easy
of course,
going, right? So people coming forward like this and sharing their part of the story, I think that's really gonna create an impact. And that's what I want, because I've seen people too in and around myself who have this short-mindedness and a negative, approach towards their life. And I want to stop that, no matter how long it takes, even by 1% or 2. If we achieve it, if we have like 10 people among 100 crowd who have a positive, approach towards their life, that's gonna
Yeah,
make a difference, I believe.
absolutely. I'm happy that you're taking on this subject as well, and you know doing a lot more with this, and hope you grow and continue to pick up more topics and more
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. And it was lovely talking to you. And I really appreciate that you took my invitation so quickly, and you joined in this small initiative, small campaign that I've started off. And I hope to, work along with you. Maybe you have a page already. If I can be of any help, I
Yeah,
would love to, be of a support.
sure,
Yeah. So thank you
sure.
so much for sharing your stories,
Same
Raji.
here.
Lovely talking
Cheers.
to you. Cheers.
Bye.